enlarge the screen too, that might work.
That's all right.
With that square at the
Oh,
top.
she's a
Uh-oh.
do not.
There we go. I'll go to you.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's it. You're hired.
Okay. All right, call meeting to order. Do the pledge. I believe to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. The first thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the December meeting. Everybody get a chance to look at those? Are there any corrections or discussion?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from December 2024.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next thing is the 2025 election of officers for the park board. This is it. Just us three.
So I would make a motion that we keep the same officers as we did last year, myself as vice president and Dick is the president.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Parks Department Facebook update. That's beyond my pay grade.
Do we have an update?
Well, I guess we could just talk about how we go forward. So if we aren't able to control the this Facebook, one suggestion is I can go through, I could screenshot everyone who already follows it and then make a new page and send all those people friend requests. I really, at this point, I'm not sure what else to do.
Do we need Stanley's help in creating this page? We probably should do it in coordination with him, so he at least knows what we're doing.
Yes, HR and tech department would like it if once we get this situated, whatever is the resolution, that we give them both the HR and IT, the passwords and the usernames, and I would intend to set it up, with the government
So
email.
I would suggest that we just create a new Facebook page, slightly different than the existing one, and then work with. Well, I would say at the same time we're setting it up, have the IT help you set that up so that they're aware of everything we're doing. And they need.
I think after all this, they kind of don't.
Well, they give it a guy, their blessing and.
Yeah.
That we're.
I think one thing we need to make sure is we have more than one admin on the page at all times.
Okay.
Or an admin who's knowledgeable. I just became aware of this last night. So I went to the stand-up page to read it, and as a sitting board, you kind of stirred it up too. I just thought it was unnecessary, the comments going back and forth.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion that we set up a new Facebook. And
Why can't we use the one we had? What's wrong?
we don't have a password for it. We can't
Can't get into. Who's got the password?
Angelina.
She's.
Excuse me, is that a government, the county owns that thing and she has the password to use it and our lawyer can't get that back? You can't summons her or something?
We've talked to the lawyer. I don't know if we want to go to far enough to have a lawsuit about it, but. I think what we want to do is just set up our own Facebook and go with it. Okay?
You guys are the boss, but
Facebook isn't
the county's thing and you don't prosecute them, shame on you.
Facebook is not a government entity. It's not, so it's just a Facebook page that the county chooses to create. And this time, I think, when it was created last time, I'm not sure exactly how it was created or whether it was created through IT. I don't think it was, but it was just kind of put up to get information out. We want to go through a more formal process, I think, this time to try to set up the Facebook in conjunction with our IT people.
When you set up a page like that, you have an administrator and she has the password or he has the password. And if they want to give it to somebody else, they can. I know my wife owns a business. And if you have that password and you're the only one, you could erase, put on there whatever you want in that. But the liability is, it's not hers, you just told me the county set it up for that.
No, I didn't, I did not, I didn't say the county set it up, I said, when that Facebook page was originally set up, it wasn't done in conjunction with the county or the IT folks, it was just to get information out at the time, and maybe it should have been a better process to do that, but
Yeah.
this time we're gonna make sure we do it right.
Yeah, I think if we set up our own page, we'll be fine. Yeah.
So there'll be Bass Lake, that's the one with the most followers, and that's probably the one that, people rely on.
Allowed to get on the Bass Lake one that's set up
I-
now
yeah.
and just let them know that a new one is
That's what
coming?
I'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just make a post and
I
say
may put a
that.
link, can you put a link and have them,
Maybe, but that's why I was saying we should do that in conjunction with our IT folks
right,
and make sure that they're aware of every step of the process,
Yeah.
so they're there when you do it.
Mhm. Yeah, they're on board. They want to help and be as helpful as possible.
All right, very good. Next is a discussion of a department-sponsored kayak canoe trip in the summer of 2025.
Just basically like permissions for us as a department to have a kayak float. My first choice would be down the Yellow River from 1100 to Knox. If river conditions don't allow that, which is often in the summer, I would do somewhere along the Kankakee, probably State Road 8 to English Lake.
And what is it you're suggesting that
Basically, we just advertise and come together as a group, and
anyone who wants to.
anybody wants to come. I was thinking maybe we could do it as a fundraiser, charge a nominal fee.
Is there any liability if somebody gets hurt?
That would be a good question to have answered.
Yeah,
If it was just a gathering, you would have liability, right?
If they're sponsoring.
well, if we're
it's still a
sponsoring
tag.
it, it might be.
That's a question for the lawyers of that. I don't
Well,
know.
I think it's a good PR thing, I think it's a good public thing, but I think we should get Justin's,
Yeah,
It's just a thought I wanted to start.
I think it's a good idea.
yeah, I think it's a good idea. Let's run it by Justin and see what he says and
Especially if you get an annual one.
And then
stay
figure
like
out-
Weekendish.
figure out how we, maybe we want to provide lunches or do something. We'll figure it out, okay?
Okay.
Let's see what.
I do like the idea of that.
Yeah, I do.
Work on it.
Yeah, I do.
And I would say whatever is the kind of the shortest distance, so we don't lose anybody that goes up to wherever it is, so it's a little better control.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You're going.
It's hard to pass Knox by accident.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you could make it such and such, if people wanna continue, they can.
Sure.
continue.
yeah, I'm just saying so that we know, that
Eventually, it'll go such and such.
yeah, just so that we know that where we're going and what's the start point, what's the end point, so that it's clear to everybody who's participating if we get to it.
Yeah, okay. So run that by Justin and then report back to us next meeting.
And we are kind of thinking of it as a fundraiser. Is
Yeah,
that
kind of a
right?
fundraiser and just a goodwill thing.
Okay,
And you can make it so the entrance fee would get you lunch,
Or get you a
Oh.
T-shirt.
Yeah, something like that.
or it's two prices, one with the t-shirt, one without.
And then we just need to, Justin will be able to do that, but we just need to run it past the council with the
Yeah.
fundraising thing, that's all.
So I guess it needs to go on next month's agenda too.
Yes.
okay.
Okay, Amy, this is Ismail, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, so one of my former students, his name was Ismail Delara. He was my student in 7th grade. He's now 20 years old and an environmental science major at Purdue. And I know, he is a really studious individual, and he's very excited about being involved with the Parks Department. I started speaking to him when he wanted to share a soil study he did out at the forest, which I still need to get to Bruce. And we met for lunch, he gave me what he had, and we were talking, and he has all these ideas. And I was telling him about some of my ideas, and basically he was able to apply to Purdue to be an intern for the department and get college credit. So, I mean, his link starts at 6:15. I hate to say too much about that in case he wants to. I don't think it's gonna work for 5 more minutes. So, do we want to kind of talk about, we want to do discussion of the campground leases and then his link should be ready? Could we skip?
Yeah,
go to that?
if we can do that quick enough.
Okay.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't, but he can wait a couple minutes if we go over.
I just had one quick thing on the peer release rental agreement, the last page, item number 17, municipal tires.
Okay, got it.
The other thing I caught.
So I did in your packets put the highlighted copy of.
Yeah, actually, I was able to get it when I looked at it from my laptop. I was able to get the highlights. I just couldn't see it with my phone for some reason.
Okay. Okay. So we'll go, do we want to start up here? I mean, and I don't expect you guys to vote on the peers this month.
Right. I do have specific comments on some of the highlighted areas.
Okay. What number
So,
was that? Was tires, David?
Where he said he
17
was spelling.
On the
Got
back,
it.
exhibit B.
Got it.
What are we talking about now, the peer lease?
yeah, it's just, so I think the only questions any of us have or would have is the highlight on the agreement itself is just for the fee increase, which the board voted on. So
Okay.
that's not a question really.
Oh, yeah, because that fee was agreed to,
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So number 4, I'm fine with, that's a highlighted change from, I guess, the previous peer lease, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm also okay with number 5, which is a change from the previous one. Number 7, I don't agree with the last sentence in number 7. So that would begin with non-utilization of slip and current does not assign. I don't think we need to go into
Which one is this?
number 7.
Exhibit B.
Number 7, I don't think we need the last sentence in there. Non-utilization of slip for, if somebody's paying for a slip, whether they use it or not,
Oh,
I don't have a problem with giving them the same slip the next year, so.
I'm
I
sorry.
should have bought one for you.
I don't have that, that's why I'm asking you questions.
I think I might have an extra highlighted one. I brought my own. Here. Here's an extra. Copy of them.
Yeah, it is.
So that was number 7 that I just made a comment on. I was okay with both of the previous ones, 4 and 5, that had highlighted changes.
Well, I think the reason that's in there, and I don't remember, is because we have people on a waiting list for peers.
Right, but if somebody's paying a full slip,
But I'm telling you why it was put in.
yeah, I just don't agree with it.
Okay.
So that's number 7. Now, this is just my opinion, so it's not the board
And we
would have
can,
to
and I
decide.
think it's good for you to say your opinions and we can go
Right.
through each one and then next month everyone can think on it and then.
That would be better for next month to have at least a clear,
Yeah,
a clean copy of this that
Mm-hmm.
we all agree on.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so number 9, I just don't agree with the last sentence in number 9 either. Because there,
No PWCs, is that what you're talking about?
yeah, no PWCs or augured watercraft permitted in outside
Okay,
slips.
which part?
Just the last sentence.
Just that last sentence.
I don't, but we've never put PWCs on the outside.
Well, I don't even think we have to go into that really.
Well, we did, well, because, we don't want people requesting outside spots for a PWC.
But that'll be up to us to assign new slips.
Well, that's
So,
fine.
yeah, so I'm not worried about putting, not too many people are gonna request, if any, PWCs to be on outside slips.
But if they have a boat that they don't have. they
But
can
we'll
put the
just,
water-
well, we'll just tell them when they come to order a PWC that we don't put them on it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm fine with the PWCs, I'm not fine with the watercraft, because it could be anything.
Here's what I think it should say.
If we shrink that last sentence, I think.
Well, no, think it should say. How do I word this? I think, we're too definite in the sentence. And, I thought there was another spot here, but you just gave me this lease now, so I'm reading it now. I was gonna say something like, may, depending on conditions, may not be permitted on the outside. I don't wanna put anything definite in, you know what I'm saying? Black and white.
I think until that issue comes up, if we just strike that last sentence, I think.
Okay,
we're
but can
okay.
we leave the PWCs in then and just strike augured watercraft? Well, that way we don't have to fight.
Is there a reason?
Don't we assign these things?
Yeah, but
We can assign one however we want it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, at least until now, we've never assigned a PWC,
No, but when people ask me, I want to be able to tell them why.
Okay.
You say, no, we don't do that.
Okay.
Well, I would just say that we assign spots at the beginning of the year, and if you request it, the board, the people who assign the spots, which is this board, will.
Or what if they swap out their equipment in that slip?
What's the difference? I don't understand what you're saying.
If you don't want a PWC in the outside,
I don't really care myself, but as long as they're paying for the spot, it's not to me.
Well, one reason we usually don't do it is because they only get half a pier, and we lose a half a pier on the outside if they only have one
For a
PWC.
living.
Yeah, and that's why we haven't really ever assigned.
I pay for a whole spot and I have a PVC on the
I
outside.
understand, but
And I pay
also,
for the whole spot.
why did you do that? Because you were supposed to get a boat.
No,
Because your
we-
PWC was on the inside the year before.
Well, to me, it doesn't matter as long
But
as
that's
they're
what they
paying.
were saying.
You pay for a whole spot, he had his PVC.
Yeah, if you pay for a whole spot.
Yeah.
We're not gonna give a half a spot to somebody with a PWC on the outside.
We're not gonna authorize a PWC on the outside unless they're paying for a full slip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't authorize any PWCs, I don't think, unless they're paying for a full slip.
No, they
Between them and another person maybe.
Yeah.
But it's gotta take the full amount of a boat, otherwise you're paid the full amount.
you gotta get the full price of the slip out of it.
Right. So number 11 was another new one, which I'm fine with. I don't have any issues with number 11.
No, this was an old one.
It's highlighted, so I'm assuming it was new.
It's
That's why.
been reworded because before, the change in it is, before they had to be notified by mail.
Mhm.
And by the time you notify them a couple times by mail, the season's over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We didn't, I thought that
It's
was,
been reworded, but it basically was in there before.
okay,
Because nowadays, everything's electronic,
right,
voicemail, email, and everything else.
okay. And then number 14, I was okay with too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think anything that's doing that, I think was a definite date.
Yeah, number 15, I'm okay with that one too. It's a highlighted change.
Yeah.
Number 16, I don't, that's the same as the one up above, so I would just strike that whole 16.
Seems redundant.
It's the same thing as the one we just talked about,
Yeah.
so I would strike 16. 17 is okay, because I don't want anybody putting lifts on top of anything.
Yeah, we did last year.
Yeah. 19, I'm not sure about. 19
Like,
is all lift canopies must be removed if a boat is removed from the lake. I don't know that I agree
Well,
with that one either.
talk to anybody that's got a lift with a canopy,
Yeah.
the parachute.
because it's a parachute.
No, I know, but it's up to them to remove it.
It damages everything else.
Well, I don't know if that's happened yet, but
Well, even last year, because we had, is she here? Lisa's not here. Lisa's daughter took their boat out for the whole month. And instead of taking the canopy off, they
So-
parked their boat in there so the wind
yeah,
wouldn't.
my only concern,
And that's only if they leave the lake, not if they're gone for a day, only if they take their boat out of the lake. I don't see why we can't put in,
What's the lift weigh?
what?
What's the lift weigh?
they're all different sizes.
It doesn't matter, you put,
Give me a ballpark. What's it weigh?
mine weighs 500 pounds.
Well,
That's
Yeah.
a lot of sail on a,
Oh, yeah,
just
you-
500 pounds.
You think so? You know
Yeah, that's a
how big
lot
these
of sail.
canopies are?
It would just lift right out of the water.
Yeah, just like that.
right.
And all the boats around it get damaged.
I think that should be considered to stay, because that was a big one. If you get a windstorm, we have a lot
Well,
of.
I tell you the truth, I've seen lifts with boats on it with a canopy.
That's right, you're right,
So,
but I don't think there's any harm in leaving that one in.
So we're just saying if the person takes their
Their boat
boat
out of the
out of the lake,
That's it.
But what if
They wouldn't be.
well, what does that mean for what period of time? Doesn't say.
Yeah.
So it's not clear about how long you, I mean,
Well,
say something happens to my boat and I'm getting it repaired for a couple of weeks. I think I'm not gonna make them take the canopy off just for those couple of weeks.
Well, that's when you need to take it off for a couple of weeks.
How hard is it to take the canopy off? I have no clue.
It's not that hard. I mean, it's a vinyl canopy. You know, and they go on, look, I don't know how all of them are. Some go on with bungee cords. Some go on with straps.
Half hour?
Hour tops. I
Hour
mean, if
tops.
you know you're leaving the water for a while.
The other thing we might run into issues there with is at the end of the year, when boats are coming out, somebody might pull their boat at the end of, or middle
Well,
of,
then we'll have to
middle of
handle that when we
September.
get to it.
No, what I'm saying is if, say, August 30th, that's when they can get their boat out. And then the lift people aren't gonna come pick it up for a couple of weeks. I don't think they should need to be made to take off the canopy for those couple of weeks while they're waiting on the lift.
Well, why not though? They're gonna take it off anyways, because it's being.
Yeah, but most lift owners don't remove the canopy at all.
I disagree with you on the piers.
Yeah.
Most of them do their own canopies.
Yeah.
Because most of the lifts come out without canopies on them.
Mhm.
And the owners, when they put their boats in, put the
I don't know,
canopy.
I see an awful lot of lifts going across the lake.
Well, you don't see many coming,
I'm not as hardcore on this one, because,
How strongly recommended.
yeah.
no, because they can always say no then,
Yeah.
you know. I think we should leave it like that, because if you're leaving the lake,
I think
it's
you're right.
only an hour to take it off.
I
You
think
know,
you're right.
So I'm okay with leaving 19, I'm not as strenuous on that, so.
I think 20 is an old one.
And then 21, I don't think we need at all. So having the same pier spot doesn't guarantee. We usually give, if somebody has a certain pier slip and they want to keep that pier
Yeah,
slip.
we usually do,
There isn't any good reason not to, if they want to keep it.
but we should say that it's not guaranteed, so we don't bog ourselves down if something happens.
I just say we don't have that whole thing in there at all.
But if it's in writing and for whatever reason we have to change it, somebody can't come back at us.
Yeah.
Say, it's right there.
But my reading of this says that we can change someone's spot from the previous year just because we feel like it, and I don't agree with that. If somebody had the spot the previous year, they ought to be able to keep it. Period.
And I have no problem with that policy,
Right.
but something may come up in which we have to.
But
It's just leaving us an out.
I'm just saying that's been the policy since I've been on this board, is that if you want to keep your spot from the previous year, you can.
Yeah, well, we should just tell them it's not guaranteed to. We always tell them we plan on doing the same thing. Sometimes we have to make changes.
To me, nothing in life is guaranteed, but I'd just take that one
Taxes and debt.
out. I don't think we need that one.
I don't know. You know, it says say all efforts will be made for you to
Yeah,
maintain.
it's
your
not like we're
spot,
gonna
so
do it.
I don't see it.
Because some people are gonna have to move or wanna move because they'll change boats, they'll change equipment.
If a pier slip
No,
owner or a permit holder wants to move, we've usually tried to accommodate that if we can. But there's no guarantee there either.
yeah, so I think there's no harm in leaving that one in.
I don't think it hurts anything.
It gives us an out.
Cause we're not gonna force them out, so.
And that's all, of them, right?
Yeah,
But why are we at a 22 then, saying the current policy is that if you have the spot from the previous year, and you want to keep it, you can keep it.
Well, why should we guarantee them a
We're
spot?
not guaranteeing it.
We're not
That's all-
guaranteeing it.
That's all we're doing. We're not guaranteeing. it.
That's kind of what the second half of 21
That's what,
says.
yeah, it says, but all efforts will be made for you to remain in your same spot, so. I mean,
Which is what we
We're not-
told them each of the 3 years.
we're not arbitrarily gonna move somebody.
Well, that doesn't say, that does say we can.
It says we can, but we're not.
Yeah.
It says we're not going.
If we can, somebody may come up with a reason to do it, but I'm just,
Well, but it's gotta, you know,
We gotta have some protection too.
well,
who's we? What do you mean, we have to have some protection?
I don't think it's a protection thing, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it's a neutral thing. We're not gonna make people move, but if there's some good reason why we have to move somebody,
We can.
we can.
Okay, is there a reason why we've never had that in there before, but this year we have to have that in there?
Well, because we put it in writing instead of
I
having it
don't think
verbal.
we have to have it in.
That's my point is we've never had that before this year. Why are we putting it in there now?
I just don't think it hurts to have it. I don't think it hurts anything.
If you two on it, that's up to you.
I'm not strongly in one way or the other. I just see
No,
it
I'm not either.
as it's giving us an out should extenuating circumstances occur.
But I would say if that, you're never gonna have rules for everything. My opinion is you should just leave that out and deal with it on a case by case basis if you need to.
Yeah, that's fine.
That is one way of doing it.
Yeah.
It's just,
I don't have a strong feeling.
Okay.
Okay,
Can I speak on that?
sure.
I think it's been about 3 years or 4 years that the park board took over from Callahan.
Yeah,
At that time, I was paying $550 a year for my space and for my jet ski. Today, this next year, I'm paying $1,050 for the boat and the jet ski. It's $500 more. And that many years. The time I went on there, Gary tried to get us to buy lifts. You remember that? That's.
So hold on. Stop. Right there, just stop.
Yeah, it wasn't
Let's not
just-
make a statement.
You know, it wasn't just one person. There was there was a number of folks who voiced opinions, and even actually myself 2 years ago.
Yep.
Was actually in favor of getting all this, but I got voted out of it, so I got. This year I said no because of the cost and my issues with the county not letting us keep our full budget.
So don't blame
I
it.
apologize to bring it as, let's just say the peer board or whatever you want to talk, okay? And Mr. Ballard here said, how many votes we talking about? I think the number came up.
I think it was 10%.
40 some at that time that didn't
I
have
think-
lists.
I think we-
You said it was out, so it went dead, okay?
Yeah, I think we
At
kind of,
that time, and I've been out there since day one, and I had a spot on the outside. I've been there since they put the first board. Trying to move the peer board, trying to say because I had auditors, I couldn't have my spot, I had to be in there. That finally got put to bed. Now you got 90-some spots. I don't know how many you got open, you got a waiting list. Talk about moving everybody, and you guys run the thing when there's one come open.
We're not,
whatever you
we're not
put in
moving,
there.
we're not moving people. Okay,
First of all, he was never told he's gonna.
let's not even argue all this.
Yeah.
It's already been settled. It's already been settled, okay? We're done with this.
right,
We're not moving people around.
Thank you.
If you've got a spot,
Well, I don't see what's in there, so you guys are reading, you're saying.
Yeah, well,
and we're stuck in the discussion mode.
we haven't even passed it.
Next month, when we go to vote on it, we can make sure that this is out to everyone.
So they can
But,
read.
yes,
All this says is having the same peer spot is not guaranteed from year to year. But all efforts will be made for you to remain in your same spot. We want you to have your spot. We're not gonna go out there and shake everyone up and tell them move around or anything.
But
That's all it is.
but I thought we just agreed that we can remove 21.
Yeah, we can.
I'm okay with it.
That way, I mean, I just don't,
I'm
think
okay
there's
with
a-
it.
yeah, I just don't think there's a need for it right now.
And next.
But it's not like maybe they won't.
I'll be on vacation.
And for some reason, that's come up with that. You know,
Gotta deal with it. We're not gonna make y'all move your boat.
I heard.
All right. What else?
Okay, actually, we could go back to talking about the camp lease if we wanna go ahead.
Cause we're gonna do them both together next month, right?
Well,
Or do we need the camp lease to go out soon?
I had hoped that we could just do them both next month, but since I'm not making any changes, and I was kind of thinking. Maybe I should try to get them out by the end of the month, just the camp.
Well, if we're not making any changes to the camping.
That's what I was
then
kind of
I don't
thinking.
have any problem with just, because we don't really need to vote on that then, right? Do we? It's highlighted. Is that highlighted for a reason?
I think it's for the end, it's for the end user.
Yeah,
As long as there's no impactful changes, right?
no, Dick found a couple spelling things for me to
Right.
fix.
I said, give him permission to send that out.
Yeah. And,
I kind of agree with you, Amy, getting this out,
yeah,
because we're at the end of January.
right,
And we really need to know who
Mhm.
might not be coming back.
yeah, so we haven't changed the prices or anything.
Nothing's different.
Not on the campsite,
So I
only
think,
on the pier.
Yeah,
I think it's okay to vote on this tonight.
Okay.
okay, just the camp.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion that we approve the campground as presented.
Thank
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, let's get them out.
Okay,
Do we need to talk about the service agreement? I don't see any changes in that either. Is there?
Gary, do you wanna,
We can go over it. I don't know, nobody was here for the service agreement last year.
I don't see.
we can always vote on that next month.
Yeah,
I'd
well,
like to get this one out now.
Oh, okay.
That's all
Okay.
years, really.
Okay,
So you're talking, this is the installation and removal, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
what we would send out to the
We're
companies.
sent out for bids.
I do have a question. There was some discussion about preferred vendors. Is that something, I mean, because
I don't know what that.
What's a preferred vendor?
folks that you've had in previous years
Oh,
that want to continue doing it for the next year have a preference.
Right.
If, as long as you were satisfied with the work and the timing and all of that stuff. I guess what I'm saying is, do we have to go out every year for this or not?
I think we should go out 1 year and just see what we get. Maybe there's nothing else to get.
Well, we did go out last year and.
Yeah, but there's
Yeah,
only
but
two
there
people.
was no
that's-
one.
There are more, there's a couple more.
That might be good enough for Chelsea.
It's just like that, the only reason why I ask is, last year was the first year that we've actually had to go in on time, come out on time, and all the previous vendors, there's been issues with. So,
We've never had a previous vendor.
sure we have.
Who?
Steve.
Steve for the last 2 years.
No, he wasn't the last 2 years.
Yes, he was.
He was this year. The previous year, what's his name was also part of it.
But was part of it, but Steve was a part of it too. You had 3 guys the year before.
But there wasn't a single vendor and we didn't have all of these contracts and all that kind of stuff.
But I do have a name out of Rochester of a group that would like to.
Yeah, I'm going on, I'm just bringing it up for a discussion for at some point. If we do get a vendor that we're satisfied with year to year and they don't change their bid by more than 5% or something like that, then we consider that. That's
I'm okay with it in principle, but. At work, we were doing work for a 501
Mhm.
and they had a favorite vendor, but they still were legally required to put it out for bid every so often.
Right.
That's a question for Justin, just to
Right.
make sure we
Yeah.
follow the law.
Yeah, and I guess I'm not so worried about putting it out for bid. I think that's a good idea to do that generally. Put it out for bid every year. I just don't want to get hung up on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all.
Oh, we might not.
If we get a vendor that's really, that works for us and we don't have problems with year to year.
And maybe set up a 3-year schedule of
Likely we won't.
Yeah, we might not get any more. Who knows?
Uh,
I don't have a problem with sending it out again, but.
okay. The only question I have is on page 2 of the service agreement. A, B, and A and B. Well, I guess that's all mine says, or maybe service agreement too. Yeah, it's on the second page,
Which number?
top of the second page, A and B.
A, B, C?
Well, I don't have a problem with C, but A and B, what prices are we putting in there?
They put their prices in.
Okay,
When they bid, they put their price in.
they just tell us how much they're gonna charge.
Yeah,
Okay,
and that's what was done last year too.
yeah, yeah, so I don't think there's a problem with this at all.
Yeah. And there's no need to differentiate between the wood sections and the aluminum sections.
Oh, so it's whatever they're gonna charge.
No, I'm just saying, because I would think aluminum would be easier to lift. And
I would think so.
Yeah, but, I don't make it any more complicated than it is. It's good to have the number of, this has probably been the best we've had it.
Yeah.
Since I've been on anyways.
Okay. Is there a
Everything
motion?
else, I think is just legal stuff.
Motion to accept the
I'll
agreement.
make the motion.
Second,
But
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so as long as you guys are done with that, I have for Amy here, I have the invoice for the piers from Larry's Marina. We paid for the piers,
Thank you. I'll get that taken care of.
for the aluminum section.
as long as we're talking about Pierce, did we send out the letter for the?
Yeah, like I still haven't heard anything back. She said, okay, and then that was it, so
Okay, can we follow up by phone or
I'll try.
so we can get another thing by next month so that we're not, they don't come back and say we can't put the piers in or something.
We don't have the permit when they got kids to put the.
And I just want to make sure that's where we need to send it to, too, so. Because there's all kinds of conversations still within the county about these individual permits, which hasn't gone any further, but.
Amy, is this from Bruce? This, okay,
Yeah, and if we want to go ahead and let Ismail, he only has about 15 more minutes left on his Zoom link.
sure.
We'll go ahead and invite him in and
Sure.
he's listening. He said he's been listening to us, so
Okay,
we'll see what. And then, Ismail, hopefully this will work. We might have to. Mm. Okay, can you hear us, Ismail?
Yep.
Okay, so his computer's on the fritz too, so he's gonna share his screen. Would you like to introduce yourself? I'm holding the computer up like everyone can see you on there.
Right?
Okay, yeah, no worries. So I'm Miss Mondelara. I graduated high school I graduated from Knox High School in 2022. I currently attend Purdue University as studying natural resources and environmental science. I president of the Environmental Science Club, and I do research in the agroecology lab. So I'm really happy to be here and speak to you guys about my ideas for the Bass Lake Beach. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started.
Thank you, sir.
See my screen?
Yep.
Is that
I should be up there for that.
No. Can you guys see
You can
it?
get to
Okay.
them.
so? This
I can see
is
it.
the Bass Lake Restoration Beach project. Yeah, so going over what we're going to present today is the what the Arrowhead Country Resource Conservation District grant is the organization's about and what they're looking for. What my current observation is of Bass Lake Beach, plan to restore soil quality to the beach and some educational materials, and what benefits this project will bring to the property. So Arrowhead Country Resource Conservation District is a nonprofit which encompasses Starke County and is focused on natural resource conservation and community development. This year's theme for their grant is natural resources and conservation awareness and education. So this project aims to reach those goals with a three-pronged approach. So we're going to focus on conservation efforts and education, create some volunteer events where we can educate the public on native species and perform invasive species removal, conserve our natural resources with new infrastructure using soil conservation methods on our properties, and create educational material for the public such as poster boards and interactive models for our students. So looking at current observations, there's currently 20 trees that are in danger of being eroded away on the coast. Flooding has been occurring in the beach parking lot and in the campground. And there's been a rock wall on the coast, but it needs to be expanded. And looking at the property, our topography is too flat. And when we have over 1,000 visitors per summer walking on that beach, it compacts the soil, leaving no air. And so water can't get into the soil, so which is causing the flooding and leading to poor drainage. So looking at this diagram, this is what our current measures will be looking like. If the wave comes in, the force from the wave will be reaching our rock wall and then returning back to the lake. Some of that water is going to seep through, saturating our soil. And once that soil is saturated, it just makes it easier to be eroded more. And when that force comes back into the lake, it's going to take away sediment and rocks with it, meaning that we have to restore our rocks, and more and more of the coastline is being eroded away. So the cost of poor soil quality here is going to be, we're going to have to buy new trees, more rocks along the coast to supplement soil erosion, more flood damaging happening to the campground. And if our soil is that saturated, eventually grass can't be sustained there. And ultimately the biggest loss will be loss of visitors. So here are strategies for soil conservation. So our first step is adding some new infrastructure. Here we can see kind of a diagram of what tile drainage looks like. It's going to be a tube placed along placed underground with slits in it that collects that saturated soil. Mainly the water is going to fill in there and then just be redirected. So it keeps our water level down. And then groins. So what is a groin? A groin is going to be similar to the rock wall, but it's actually going to be perpendicular to the coast rather than parallel. And as the wave force comes in, it's gonna be redirected to our shore, carrying along sediment with it, which actually spans our shoreline, which gives us more space to do things, to put in some vegetation and put in some erosion retention measures. And that force decreases long as well, so that means we're gonna get less erosion after each point is added. So what this ultimate goal of this project is, we're gonna be mimicking natural systems. Think about the Indiana Sand Dunes Park. We have a really unique ecosystem here where we have trees right along the coast. So my recommendations is to include some water loving species such as willows and cottonwoods around the coast. Is a native species from the Starke County Forest. And similar to that, trying to get native species out into that rain garden to improve our drainage. We're going to be looking at some like the plants that Sand Dunes National Park, and this would basically create our beach, have our beach kind of be our topography change, which deals with that drainage issue. So this is how soil quality be improved with vegetation. So instead of having rocks, that wave force is still going to come in towards the shore, but all the roots of the trees and the native vegetation will be sucking up that water as soon as it comes in, lowering our water table. And also the force of the roots actually retains the soil, so there's not going to be any erosion happening at all. Making sure that the waves just come to the shoreline and then retract, and we still have our soil and we don't have to deal with any flooding. And then moving on to the educational side of my plan for this project is our poster board interactive model. So the poster board is going to be what I presented to you, what I've been talking about in this presentation is what our current observation is like without erosion protection, what growing are and what they mean, and then native vegetation and trees will help us conserve our soil. And obviously, this is not the end all. This is just the first draft. So I'll be working on that. And then looking into the interactive wave model for the public to interact with in our renovated beach house. So what the goal of this model is to demonstrate coastal erosion with and without native vegetation. So basically like the posters, but seeing it with your eyes. And then I have a friend who actually also graduated Knox High School with me. He's here at Purdue. He's an electrical engineer. He's agreed to do it for free, excluding the material costs, and is just waiting on our okay and once we receive the grant. So I have a YouTube video for everyone to watch here. All electric DC4X. We humans are fast. Tons of inlet areas. So basically what the goal of that model is going to be is we're going to have visitors pressing a button, and then it's going to be simulating what waves look like and what coastal erosion looks like. So let me get back to the PowerPoint. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm working with an electrical engineer here to develop those models for the public at a reasonable price. And then the benefits this will bring is aesthetic enhancement. We're going to have lots of flowers, lots of new trees, and new topography that's going to attract more visitors. Our infrastructure integration will make our beaches have less issues as the climate changes in the futures. So if more flooding occurs, we have protection measures against that, so we don't deal with the cost of poor soil drainage. And then and these educational materials and educational initiatives in this project will be raising awareness to our public about soil conservation. And then this could be a whole new step for the Parks Department to interact with the community more through education on our natural resources. Thank you guys for listening to me, and please let me know if you guys have any questions right now. My contact information is right there. Feel free to ask, Amy for it.
Yeah.
Any questions so far?
Yeah, Ishmael, with the grant application, what is the total amount that's available if we were to receive the grant? And is there any matching funds that would be needed to be able to get that grant, you know, at this point, or is it that still need research?
Yeah, so the grant, the total amount is gonna be $5,000, and, to my knowledge, we don't need any matching funds.
No matching. funds.
Yeah, I think Ismail's correct.
And do we think that all the changes that you're proposing here fall within that amount, or is it? Or are we gonna need to look at trying to raise additional funds?
No, the changes that I'm, looking to do here should fall within that amount.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Ismail. I really wish I could have displayed your presentation for everyone in the room and everyone watching from home because it's really good. So if anybody wants it, I can email it to you. I'm sure Ismail would be okay with that.
But we want to Stanley to see if we can put a copy of that on the
Oh,
on the county
excellent.
website.
That's a good
on the
idea.
website as well.
That's a good idea.
Link.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good idea. I know I wish they could have all seen it. It was very good. The board could see it though.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm sorry guys about the roads being so slippery that I really wish I could have been here to visit, but hopefully next month the road conditions will be better so I can see y'all and meet face to face.
Yes, everyone's looking forward to meeting you.
Safety first.
Yes.
Thank you. Good night, y'all.
Thank you, Ismail. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes,
That's
I
good.
so wish you could have seen it in person. It was really good. Okay. So I'm looking forward to all the things that Ismail can teach me.
Who was that at the beach house?
That was him.
That was him, right? Where we did the pre-construction meeting.
I didn't get a chance to really introduce you properly, and then I thought, well,
I thought that's would have been in that pre-construction meeting. He was there.
yeah, so you guys will meet him next month or
Is he
soon.
gonna come to every construction meeting?
He just,
Introduce
yeah,
himself?
he's just kind of seeing, he's just interested and wanting to know what, he wanted to see maybe where he could fit that model.
Mhm.
So I was kind of thinking, in one of those rooms.
And this is just the beginning of the discussion with him anyways, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be great.
great.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
everyone will love him.
I
Okay, so I think,
let me talk about Bruce's letter.
oh, yes,
Bruce Wakeland, he's our forester and he's got the Starke County Forest. He sent us a letter. I don't know if you wanted it published or not, but I think it's interesting. I'll just read it to you. Starke County is the most forested county in northern Indiana. 28%, 56,254 acres of Starke County is plain field sand soil type, which is where most of the timber is located. The 5-acre section of woods that we inventoried is on plain field sand. We now have growth data on this 5 acres for 25 years, which we use to calculate how many dollars per acre per year it has produced. And I think he's talking about trees, I think. This value is then used so foresters can make better management decisions, and we can use it to convince landowners to keep and to manage their woodlands. I am currently in the middle of writing a report that will be published. An adjoining neighbor is currently getting $115 per acre per year rent money from a farmer for his plain field sand field. If you include income from a hunting lease, this 5-acre demonstration woods is also producing $115 per acre per year of value, and you can enjoy its beauty, its wildlife, and the clean water and air it creates. And that's from Bruce. I'll say this, I grew up in Tipton, Indiana, which is a very rural farm community just north of Indianapolis. We don't have near the number of trees and lumber. The thing I enjoyed most about when I moved to Starke County, when you drive around in this county, there are fields everywhere, but there are also woods everywhere. These farmers have left so many wooded plots. It's beautiful. And I really think it adds to the quality of life in this county. And
I think Bruce's work is really phenomenal, and I just wanted everyone to be aware, not every county has this kind of resource.
I'm actually surprised that we are the most forested.
I was
I work in
surprised too.
LaPorte and Porter County a lot, and
I was
there's
surprised.
a lot of trees up there.
Yeah.
Well, and if you haven't been out to the forest, you really need to go out there and take a look, and especially,
Yeah.
there's a little tower there, out there to look over the marshes and stuff, and it's really pretty.
Is that a fire tower or just an observation?
No, just an observation tower.
Yeah,
I think Bruce built it on
he might have,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, and now we have the superintendent's report.
Okay, well, speaking of the Stark County Forest, I was gonna start there. I did ask Bruce to write that up because I went out last month and he had me out with the DNR, like measuring the circumference of trees, but only in that part that he was talking about. So he was, that's what we were doing out there. And all four regions, all four DNR officers that represent every region from the middle of the state up was there. So that tells me that Bruce is important to them too, like he is to us. So I think that was really cool. I also met with Bruce last month to continue planning our Environment Day. So I'll keep you guys posted on that, but it's on June 5th still. Most things will be the same. Art in the forest is the theme. If anybody has any suggestions or ideas, there's a lot of cool things coming up with that. Also, Bruce wanted me to let you know that he's been seeing fresh snow, footprints in the snow. So people are out there utilizing the forest. And that makes him happy. It makes us
I could
happy.
name one person that was out there.
He said every time there's a fresh snow, there's fresh snow prints. So I think people are utilizing it.
Hunting signs posted there.
Yeah, no, I know no hunting, no horseback riding, no fishing.
Good.
Also last month, I attended a lunch, which was paid for and held by Representative Kendall Culp. He's our, representative for our area. He wanted to meet with the county leaders, to help him prepare for the Indiana General Assembly, which I think really said a lot to me about Kendall Culp. We met at, one of the restaurants in town, and he heard everyone's feedback. He asked questions, he took questions. I got to tell him about the Bass Lake Beach renovation. He really didn't even exactly know there was a parks department with a budget. So, and we talked about the kayak endeavors that we've got going on, and he was very happy to hear about all the good things in Stark County. So he's going to take that with him to the General Assembly.
Yeah, because I think he's one of the only active farmers that is a part of the General Assembly, right?
I got,
believe so.
yes, I knew he was a farmer, and I know he's very interested in conservation as well. And so he wanted to hear about the park department. We had a renovation committee meeting on December 27th. And then another pre-construction meeting with Todd from Brown and Brown, before this meeting. And I wanted to thank everyone on the committee and Krista from Troyer for all their help and guidance. I really do need the whole committee. I have a lot to learn and I'm learning it. So basically building is now slated to begin Monday, January 20th. And it's very exciting. And they're hoping to have everything done before Memorial Day. But they understand that the camp side needs to be done as a priority. And Todd said he was intending to do that. The one thing I wanted to bring up to you guys is just that there's all that heavy kitchen equipment. So there's a big industrial pizza oven in there. There's a really big refrigerated make table and some more steam table and another thing and another thing and a big heavy wooden table. There's a lot in there. And I got with our county EMA, I contacted state EMA. In the end, the best thing we can do, and really our only option, is getting it out of there before next Monday and over to the county warehouse where it can be auctioned.
And Rick, is it Rick?
Yes.
Said he could do that, right?
Well,
or he would.
There's gotta be something coming up there.
Oh, but
So Rick would love to be able to do it, but but he doesn't have the equipment. So the bottom line is, I think I'm gonna have to hire a crew to get it out of there and over to the warehouse.
We asked Brown and Brown, they
Mhm.
won't do it.
Yeah,
So, and we've got to get it out of there, get it out of their way before they start.
Yes.
So I think our only option is to hire someone to get it out. this
okay.
week.
Thank
so,
you.
and then
Oh, the highway.
the purpose of that would be to hire them to remove it and then take it to the county warehouse?
Mhm.
Remove and transport.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the big problem is, so Rick and I were out there yesterday. Not Ricky over, but Rick Green, and he was measuring and there's some issues. I don't know how they got that stuff in there because it doesn't fit through the doorway. And that wall
Like
stays,
pieces.
right? So. I mean, it's not functional equipment anyway, so some of it is gonna have to get disassembled, I think, to get it even out of there.
So whoever you hire is gonna have to be able to disassemble and move.
Are they changing, is that building getting new outside doors on the front?
Yes,
Front and back, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Well, what I'm saying is-
inside and the
If
parking
the
lot
front
side.
ones are gonna be bigger. Can we temporarily take the frame out if it's that close to fitting?
it's not that door that's the problem. It's the doors, you know how you go
Oh, okay.
in, it's those smaller doors.
Well, is that's all gonna be changed too, no?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think.
Because the bathrooms are going in there.
Yeah, but
I
I
should
think.
check with Rick and see if they're gonna take those walls out. If they are, maybe we could take them out early
Mhm.
to get the oven stuff.
Well, yeah, if those walls, I can get with Kristen, ask her, because if those walls are really sure make it easier, I think they stay, I think that all structurally like stays the same with the walls and stuff.
Well, they're changing something because they're putting bathrooms in there, bigger bathrooms. So-
Yeah, but they're just doing those changes within the bathrooms, like,
Yeah.
Well, check with.
I am gonna,
and
that's
see,
a good
because if those walls
idea,
are coming out, this solves our problem.
that's a good idea. I mean, I will ask Krista, but I kind of think that we are in a lurch a little bit on this, but we'll figure it out, we'll get it out in time, one way or the other.
Okay,
And then lastly, I just wanted to, make sure everyone is on board with having Ismail as our intern. I'm really excited. The teacher becomes the student a little bit.
is the intern a paid position or unpaid?
Unpaid,
Unpaid.
but honestly, I could
No.
see him turning it into a
Yeah. I
paid and play
yeah,
for the summer. I've been talking to him about, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great.
So that's my superintendent report. I sent you guys and I put in your packets this monthly budget report. So I'll just send you this every month and I'm not going to read it out for the crowd except for to say, I'll just go ahead and since it's the end of the year, I wanted to read you the end of the year totals. So, for campground rental and storage, we brought in $170,000 and $175,000. For pier rental and storage, we brought in $66,000 approximately. Beachgate, and pavilion rental made us almost $17,000
Wow.
last year, and kayak rentals was almost 700. And so for the year to date for the department, our receipts or the amount we took in is $313,597. We were appropriated $241,000. We expended $217,000 approximately, which left us about $24,000 unexpended. And we also have a cash carry forward of $96,395 to work with. So that gives us, you guys really put in, you've been waiting and now here we are. We do have some money to play with and get things done.
So the amount of the total budget, is that for 2025 or is that for 2024?
This
The
was
2021.
2024. We don't know yet for 2025. It might change just a little bit.
I know we got more, but
Mhm.
it wasn't,
Mhm.
okay.
And we're trying our best. And I know it's a slow process, but we're trying our best to improve that whole situation out there, the campground, the beach area. We're a nonprofit, none of us get paid. But
Here's a
we're-
big luck, taking a long time to correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're committed to making this, really a gem for the county. And we're gonna do our best. And that's this money is gonna be used to make things better out there. And the project's gonna start next week, start making it better. So the only other thing I have before we go is there are 3 different colors for the outside
mhm.
of the beach house. We're gonna put it on Facebook or. if we
Well,
can,
well,
We'd like
Yeah,
to put it
I
somewhere.
think at least the committee kind of decided to keep it within the committee.
when we brought it up to Todd,
Oh,
from Brown and Brown, he
keep-
said that might cause some problems.
Right. We decided to keep it within the citizen committee.
Committee.
Right.
Okay.
So, and instead of sending it out to the whole, because it might get kind of too out again.
That was his.
But it's just a color scheme. It's not like.
Yes.
Yeah, they looked with this color, don't look with anything.
Yeah, really, it's anything's
And
better than what's up.
there's actually been kind of a consensus on that. Wrong with the white trim, so I mean, I
Okay, very good.
noticed
I
that.
got one question for you.
Sure.
Did we decide, is the pure lease done for her to just print up?
Yes.
Yeah,
So you could just.
No, the purpose had been for-
he didn't do the pier.
the purpose had been for that, but,
Why can't we vote on it? I'm just asking. We went through everything, right?
He only just got it. I,
No, but I think what we want to do is have, instead of this one being highlighted and marked up, there were things changed in here. They have a clean copy of the terms and agreement, so everybody can see it, right?
So we can vote on it February, whatever.
February, yeah.
Yeah, February will vote.
but the installation thing, we're good.
But we
That
voted,
can go.
we voted on the installation, we voted on the.
I don't know if we voted on the campground, but it, like.
And we voted on the installation so that she can,
Contract.
and removal.
Okay, anybody else have anything else? Yes, sir.
Yeah, just, well, I won't be here in February, we can vote on that here, so. I'm always interested in the changes. The other thing is because of politics involved on the grant, it took about 3 years to get the grant. And for the people that are listening, we don't have enough money to finish what we were thought. The one bathroom's not gonna be done and the playground because of the rising costs. And politically, it took 3 years to get to that point.
Yeah.
When it'll get done, it'll certainly look a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Every time, everything you're doing looks a lot better.
And I think even though some of those things didn't get funded this time, it's a guideline for us going forward.
Yeah.
To maybe be able to do
Do it on
those
your own.
as our
Yeah.
next steps, and maybe outside the grant process.
Before
We
California.
need that garage back there. to-
Yeah, I know, that's a,
And you already approved that fence in the front that's been down.
Right.
That's been approved for $6,200, I heard it was.
Yeah, yeah, and I want to replace the chain link fence in front of the
In front of the whole beach.
beach area too. I mean, I think we have to have I think it's a good thing to have a chain link fence there, but I think we need a new one that it looks better.
I think so too.
Okay, so we got a lot of plans, just bear with us.
Oh,
yeah, and we've really only been involved in the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, and there's been a lot of improvement, I think, that this board has done in over that period of time, and I think there's,
Yeah.
it's visual.
And this,
You can see it.
this remodeling of the beach house is gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge.
It's like the big starting point.
Yeah,
People can see what's going on.
yeah.
The other 2 positions, are they gonna be appointed or?
Well, there's
Well,
only one
yeah.
open position now. Sam is, I think, coming back still.
Sam's planning on
He's
coming
already-
back.
Yeah, next month.
Right, and the other open, it's a good thing you brought it up, though, the other open position is a position that's appointed by the county council.
County council.
And that has to be someone who's either a Democrat or an independent, so,
So if you know somebody that's interested,
yeah, you send a letter to the auditor.
Does anybody know
To see the
anything
county
they say?
council.
Have they received anybody? else?
2.
Well, at least.
All the county council has received 2 letters, good,
That's something at least.
yeah, so,
and their next meeting's the 20th, I think,
Next week,
the 20th.
maybe we should show up and ask them, hey, Can you kind of push this?
I usually
You have a,
evening cable TV, so I kind of show up.
you have a minimum quorum. If that snow was 2 hours later this morning, I wouldn't have been here.
Okay, yeah, we'll have a full board, I'm sure, before too long, so. Thank you all for coming. If there's nothing else,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everybody, for
So,
coming.
Amy, you just took it in now to the, internet?
There's a claim.
Yes.